All right, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all the praise, all the honor, and all the glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Harakakwadash, and of course, as always, double honors to our apostles and our elders that rule well at Great Millstone. Salutations to all you sincere Akim, preaching this word in all truth and sincerity. This is 1 John chapter 4 and verse 1. Beloved. Now the key word here and in other parts of the scriptures is that these words, these epistles, salvation, the promises are for Israel, all right, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. But the key word here is beloved, okay? And that is the elect, all right, the house of David. Okay, David, that name in itself means beloved. Okay, King David was a man, is a man after the Most High's heart. Okay, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai created David to be a special soul, man, a special Israelite. In this faith, you have special souls, special Israelites. Now, all the Israelites are God's, okay? But amongst all Israel, you got very, 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 very special, all right, Israelites. Very special gods, okay, which are known as the elect, okay, the 1/3, the first fruits. Okay, the house of David, the beloved. So it says, beloved, believe not every spirit. Believe not every spirit. Just because somebody says that they read the Bible, the scriptures, okay, that they are an Israelite, okay, you're not supposed to believe them, man. Because throughout the years, all right, being woke, all right, understanding the truth, or receiving the truth, I should say. Because when you first come in, you first receive it, you don't fully understand what you're involved in. And it takes time. It takes experiences for you to really understand what you're involved in. Okay? We've seen guys, even unto this point right now, that have been in before us, before me in general, before me and the brother. You got guys out there, or I should say one, that we know of in particular, that has been around before us, and he really doesn't understand. Okay? He doesn't really understand how to keep moving forward. If you're constantly looking behind you, you can't move forward. All right? Then we've seen men had, relationships in the faith with these men, attempted to build up with these men. Okay, men get fired. Okay, get terminated from the labor force. We've seen and heard of men get put to death in this faith. All right? So, just because somebody calls himself an Israelite, calls upon the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, does not make them of the elect. Okay? Are not a special soul, a special spirit. So it says, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits. Okay? You try these spirits, you test these spirits through experiences, man. Okay? Through being around them, getting to know them. That's why we fellowship. Okay? Reasons why we fellowship isn't, just to have a good time. A reason why we fellowship is to build with each other, is to examine each other, get to know one another. Okay? Study each other, how we can improve one another. It's not just about, celebrating, having a festive time. Although when we get together, it becomes a festivity. We might, eat, go out somewhere, enjoy few drinks. Okay? But that's really not what the fellowship is about. Okay? The fellowship is just another continuance of the ministry, us coming together in the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai to study each other. Okay, to, as I said before, build each other. Iron sharpens iron. Okay? And the scriptures do talk about, to care to thy flock. Okay? To cater to know, examine your flocks. Make sure bros are all right in the spirit. And sometimes, brothers don't talk. But just being around each other and being in the spirit, okay, a brother might not tell you he was going through something bad or feeling like shit that day. But just us being amongst each other and dealing, okay, we begin to sharpen one another. A brother might be like, man, this is dope. I wish we could do this all the time. Because you're not going to get anything out of this world other than the truth and love of the brotherhood. Okay, and real soon we're going to start to see a lot more, sisters waking up. Okay, because Isaiah 4:1, man. Okay? Isaiah 4:1 isn't the Lord. The Lord's not going to save some fucking Edomite woman for you to, wife and take into a chariot, man. Okay, Isaiah 4:1, those women are Israelite women, man. Okay? And even when it comes to these women, believe not every spirit. Okay? Women start bowing down to you, calling you Lord. Okay? You better, keep that in a corner somewhere, as I like to say. Keep her in her fucking, keep her at a distance, man. All right? It says, but try the spirits, whether they are of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. And that doesn't come, within weeks, months, even years. Okay, but we constantly are there examining one another. All right, because, men can lose faith, become disenchanted. Okay, do some crazy shit and get themselves murked. Because, like I said, this doesn't You're not going to know a man after weeks or months or even years. Okay? Sometimes it gets so bad you start doubting the man. You start doubting a brother. You know? And, that brother has to prove himself. Okay? Just like we're proving ourselves to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Now, I say this because Ralph, he was not of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. And he was around for years. I can say this for myself. I lived with the brother. Okay? I lived with that brother. All right? I know him personally. Okay? I broke bread with that brother. All right? Me and him would be up from when the sun rose up and up until the sun rose up again sometimes, man. Okay? And after years, you doubting the brother, you're just like, man, you need to check yourself, man. And the Lord intervened and put him to death. Okay? Why? Because he was not of the elect. He was not beloved of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. And this is the point, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. There are many false prophets out here in this world, and more of them are springing forth. More and more of them are being revealed that they are not of the elect, they are not of the house of David, that they are not the prophets of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay? And like I said, it all comes through, you trying the spirits. Okay, we can openly say that, Elazeh and Hakah are not men of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. They are not of the house of David. Okay, we can say that they are false prophets. All right? And reason why I don't believe that they're going to repent is because the Lord, he already casting them down in the midst of the congregation. He already revealed their secret parts. And when they had all this grace time to repent, and cut it out, before the Lord did all that, they didn't do it. They didn't repent. They didn't calm down. They just waxed worse. And now they're continuing to just wax worse and worse. Okay. The Hakah said that he was going to either step down or, do something with his life. And that's another thing, man. This is something in this faith, you got to be week in and week out. There is no breaks. You can't take your hand off the plow and say, I need to go find myself. Okay? You catch an L, you're supposed to turn to the Lord right then and there and carry that cross, man. You don't take no breaks. Okay? Because when the Lord brings judgments on this place, all right, you're going to want him to be with you and not take a break. Okay? Because if the Lord takes a break on delivering you in the time to come, that means he's setting you up for the okie doke, man. For the rope-a-dope. For him to put you out, man, like he did Ralph. All right? But the point is, man, many false prophets have gone out in this world. And there are a lot of false prophets that call upon Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. All right? And their fruits expose them. Not only Are they not on fire, not fervent? Okay. They're either breaking down the scriptures wrong, or they're just being straight, you know, evil towards the brotherhood, man. Towards other brothers that are out there pushing the word. One example is they might call upon Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, but they don't give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. You know? And that's one thing I see. Is there's characters out there that will, years ago, give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone and not do it anymore. Whatever they saying now, man. You know? Giving double honors to, you know, the elect. Okay, but who are the elect? What camp are the majority of the elect in? Okay? You can't just give double honors to somebody you think is the elect. And who do you think are the elect? First and foremost, we believe that the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us this truth are of the elect. Okay, and they'll humbly admit that they don't know. But the scriptures talk about having a pattern of good works. We all have to have a pattern of good works. All right, not a pattern of works and you take a break. Okay, you got to continue. All right. So anyways, this is just a quick, you know, spiritual rant, and also, you know, for brothers to be mindful and examine these people out there, man, because there was this bug out that came on the comment board and said some really disrespectful things. And when I go to watch the video, you know, dude is in a weird spirit, giving all praises to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, but no double honors to the elders and apostles. Okay? You know, Paul said, be ye followers of me as I am of Yahweh Shai. All right? And we've all been doing this from before I came in the faith. So, you know, the scriptures do talk about meddle not with them that are given unto change, man. All right? You got that one bug out, you know, that caused a major rift amongst brothers, or attempted to cause a major rift amongst brothers. And in some videos he gives double honors, in some videos he doesn't. You know, I can't recall the last video I seen if he was giving double honors again. But I don't think he was, you know. Either way, that guy's not important. The point is just to be mindful of, you know, who you're watching and who you consider a brother, man, because, you know, this is the year of false prophets, man. And a lot of them are being revealed by the fruit of their doings, man. By their works. Alright, so with that, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. B'Shem Harakakodash. And of course, as always, double honors to our apostles and our elders that rule well at Great Millstone. Alright, shalom to the elect.